How to externalize configuration in Spring Boot. If you are curious about how to externalize configuration in Spring Boot, you are in the right place. This process allows you to keep your application flexible and adaptable across different environments. Let's break it down into simple steps. First, Spring Boot uses properties or YAML files for configuration. By default, it looks for a file named application properties or application, YAML in the class path. You can create files like application dev properties or application prod, YAML for different environments. This way, you can switch configurations without changing the code. YAML files are especially handy for organizing data in a hierarchical format. Next, you can use environment variables or system properties to manage your configuration. Spring Boot automatically maps these to your application properties. This is particularly useful in cloud or container environments where you want to avoid hard-coding values. Another method is to pass configuration parameters as command line arguments when starting your application. For instance, you can specify the server port by using server port is equal to 8081. This allows you to change settings on the fly without modifying files. You can also inject externalized configuration directly into your beans. Using the @value annotation lets you pull in simple properties easily. For more complex configurations, you can use @configuration properties to bind properties to Java objects. This approach improves clarity and validation in your code. If you need to load configuration from custom property files, the @property source annotation is your friend. You can specify the path to external property files in your configuration classes, making it easy to manage your settings. Spring Boot supports profiles for environment-specific configurations. You can annotate your beans or configuration classes with @profile, dev, or @profile, prod, to load properties based on the active profile. This makes it easy to switch between different setups. For microservices or distributed systems, consider using Spring Cloud Config. This tool allows you to manage configurations centrally. Applications can fetch their settings from a remote config server, which can pull properties from Git repositories or other sources. This simplifies configuration management across multiple services. When dealing with sensitive data like passwords or API keys, Spring Boot integrates with tools like HashiCorp Vault. This allows you to store and retrieve secrets securely, keeping your application safe. Starting from Spring Boot version 2.4, the Config Data API offers a more flexible way to manage configuration. It allows loading from various sources, including files and environment variables, providing a consistent approach. Finally, Spring Boot processes configuration sources in a specific order. This means that later sources can override earlier ones. The order includes default properties, application properties, environment variables, and command line arguments. This gives you fine control over how your application behaves. By externalizing configuration, you can run the same Spring Boot application across multiple environments without changing the code. For example, database URL or API keys can be set differently for development and production. This not only simplifies deployment but also enhances security by avoiding hard-coded values. In summary, externalizing configuration in Spring Boot involves using properties or YAML files, environment variables, command line arguments, profiles, and centralized config servers. These methods help you keep your backend development straightforward and adaptable.